You just got pulled over. The officer walks up and says you were violating the left lane law. You look confused. You were going the speed limit. You weren't blocking anyone, but the cop doesn't care. In Connecticut, as of October 1st, 2026, just being in the left lane without actively passing someone is a ticket. And in California, that license plate frame your dealer put on when you bought the car, that's probable, because for a traffic stop. And in Washington, D.C., the right turn on red you've been making your whole life, that's now a $100 camera ticket. Because 5 new driving laws just changed the rules of the road, and if you don't know them, you're about to pay. Quick question before we continue. Are you subscribed yet? Because what I'm about to reveal affects drivers in some of the biggest states in America. And 90% of drivers have no idea these laws even changed. Hit that subscribe button right now so you don't get blindsided by a ticket that could have been avoided. Here's what just happened across the country. 5 new driving laws and enforcement changes went into effect in 2026, and they're designed to catch you doing things you've done your whole life. Things that used to be perfectly legal, or at least ignored. But now, they're ticket cam gold mines and probable cause for traffic stops. Let me break down each one of these laws for you, starting with the one that's catching the most people by surprise. Number 1, the left lane crackdown in Connecticut and Florida. You've probably heard people say the left lane is for passing only, but most states didn't really enforce it. Well, that just changed. Connecticut passed a new law that went into effect October 1st, 2026. The law explicitly says you cannot camp in the left lane. Camping means cruising in the left lane when you're not actively passing another vehicle. And here's the part that's shocking drivers. Even if you're going the speed limit, even if you're going 5 over, if you're just sitting in the left lane and not passing anyone, you can be pulled over and fined. The base fine starts at $88, but here's what really hurts. This violation goes on your driving record. And when it goes on your record, your insurance company sees it, your rates go up. We're talking 10 to 20% increases for some drivers. Over 3 years, that $88 ticket could cost you an extra $500 to $800 in insurance premiums. Florida is pushing similar legislation with House Bill 545. The bill makes the left lane a passing-only lane on all multi-lane highways. And Florida's version is even more aggressive. If you're caught in the left lane without passing, the fine starts at $150, plus points on your license, 3 points for improper lane usage. And in Florida, if you accumulate 12 points in 12 months, your license gets suspended. So if you get caught doing this twice and you have a couple other minor violations, you could lose your license entirely. Now here's what most drivers are getting wrong about these laws. They think as long as they're going fast, they're fine. Wrong. The law doesn't care how fast you're going. It cares whether you're actively passing. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine you're on I-95 in Connecticut. Traffic is light. You're in the left lane going 70 in a 65. You're not passing anyone at that exact moment because there's no one directly next to you. But there are cars in the right lane ahead. A cop sees you. He pulls you over. You say, "Officer, I was going over the speed limit. I wasn't blocking anyone." The cop says, "You were in the left lane and you weren't actively passing." That's a violation. You're getting a ticket. And that's happening right now all over Connecticut. Here's another scenario. You're in Florida on a 3-lane highway. You're in the left lane. There's a car in the middle lane going the same speed as you. You're not passing them. Technically, you should move to the middle lane, but you don't. A cop sees it, pulls you over, ticket. The cop doesn't care that the middle lane had a car. You should have moved over or sped up to pass. This is the new reality. The left lane is strictly for passing. Once you pass, you move back to the right. If you don't, you're breaking the law. Now, quick legal note. This is educational information, not legal advice. Every situation is different. If you get a ticket for a left lane violation and you want to fight it, consult with a traffic attorney in your state. Don't rely on a YouTube video to defend yourself in court. Number 2, the move over law expansion in California. This one's huge. You've probably heard of the move over law. It's the law that says if you see a police car or ambulance on the side of the road with lights flashing, you have to move over a lane or slow down significantly. That's been the law for years. But California just expanded it with Assembly Bill 390, which went into effect January 1st, 2026. Here's what changed. The old law said you had to move over for emergency vehicles. Police, fire, ambulance, tow trucks, vehicles with red or blue flashing lights. But AB 390 says you now have to move over or slow down for any vehicle on the side of the road with hazard lights on. That means a regular car, someone with a flat tire, someone pulled over to check their phone, someone who's just stopped on the shoulder for any reason. If they have their hazard lights on, you legally have to move over a lane or slow down. And here's the trap. A lot of drivers don't even notice hazard lights until they're right on top of the car. You're driving 70 on the freeway. There's a car on the shoulder with hazards on. You pass it in the lane next to the shoulder without moving over. A cop sees it, pulls you over, ticket. The fine for violating the move over law in California starts at $50. But if your violation results in injury or death, it becomes a misdemeanor with up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. Now here's why this law is catching so many people. It's not being publicized. Most drivers have no idea the law changed. They think move over still only applies to emergency vehicles. So they're driving normally, passing cars on the shoulder, and getting tickets. And because this is a safety violation, it goes on your record. Insurance rates go up. Let me give you an example. You're on Highway 101 in California. It's 3 lanes. You're in the middle lane. There's a car on the right shoulder with hazard lights on. You pass it without moving to the left lane. A California Highway Patrol officer sees it, pulls you over. You say, "Officer, I didn't know I had to move over for that. It's not an emergency vehicle." The officer says, "As of January 2026, you have to move over for any vehicle with hazard lights. You're getting a ticket." That's the new reality. Every car on the shoulder is now treated like an emergency vehicle. If you're finding this helpful so far, imagine what you'll learn in my next video where I break down the 5 traffic stop mistakes that 95% of drivers make without realizing it. One of them turns a warning into a ticket every single time. Subscribe right now so you don't miss it. Number 3, the license plate cover ban in California. This one sounds minor, but it's a big deal. California passed Assembly Bill 1085, which went into effect January 1st, 2026. The law targets license plate covers and devices that obscure or alter the plate. Now, you might think this is just about those flip-down covers that hide your plate from cameras. And yes, those are definitely illegal now. But the law is way broader than that. It also bans clear plastic covers, tinted covers, and any spray or coating that makes the plate harder to read or photograph. And here's the kicker. The penalty for selling or distributing these devices is now $1,000. If you're caught using one, it's probable cause for a traffic stop, and you'll get a fix-it ticket. Here's what most drivers don't realize. A lot of cars come with aftermarket license plate covers from the dealer or the previous owner, clear plastic covers that are supposed to protect the plate from dirt and damage. Those are now technically illegal in California if they make the plate even slightly harder to read. And cops are using this as an excuse to pull people over. Let me give you a scenario. You bought a used car in California. The car has a clear plastic license plate cover. You don't even think about it. One night, you're driving home. A cop pulls you over. You ask why. The cop says your license plate cover is obscuring the plate. You didn't even know you had a cover. But now you're getting a fix-it ticket. You have to remove the cover and show proof to the court, or you pay a fine. And here's the part that should concern you. This is being used as a pretext to stop. A cop wants to pull you over for any reason. Maybe they're fishing for DUI. Maybe they just want to run your info. But they need probable cause. Your license plate cover gives them that cause. They pull you over for the cover. Then they start asking other questions. Do you have any weapons? Where are you coming from? Have you been drinking? The cover was just the excuse. This is why you need to check your car right now. If you have any kind of cover or tint on your license plate, remove it. It's not worth the risk. Hey, 73% of people watching right now aren't subscribed. Don't be part of that group. Join the 50,000 drivers who get these updates first. Click subscribe. Number 4, the death of right turn on red in major cities. This is a cultural shift that's happening fast. For decades, the default rule in America has been you can turn right on red unless there's a sign saying you can't. But that's changing. Washington, D.C. passed a law in 2025 that bans right turn on red citywide. Every intersection, no exceptions. Atlanta is following suit with bans in certain high traffic zones starting in 2026. Ann Arbor, Michigan is doing the same, and more cities are joining this trend. The reason? Pedestrian safety. Studies show that a huge percentage of pedestrian accidents happen during right turns on red. So cities are saying, we're just going to ban it entirely. But here's the trap. Drivers are conditioned by decades of habit. You pull up to a red light, no one's coming. You turn right. That's muscle memory, but in DC, that muscle memory just earned you a $100 camera ticket. And here's what makes this worse. Not every intersection has a sign yet. DC is supposed to post no turn on red signs at every intersection, but the rollout has been inconsistent. So you pull up to an intersection. There's no sign. You turn right on red like you've done your whole life. 2 weeks later, you get a ticket in the mail. You appeal. The city says, the law bans all right turns on red citywide. You should have known. You lose. Let me give you an example. You're visiting Washington, D.C. You're from Virginia. You're used to turning right on red. You're driving through downtown. You stop at a red light. No pedestrians. No traffic. You turn right. A camera catches you. Ticket in the mail. $100. You had no idea the law changed, but ignorance is not a defense. This is why if you're driving in a city you don't know, you have to assume right turn on red is banned unless you see a sign explicitly allowing it. The default is shifting from allowed to banned. Number 5, the license plate frame trap in Florida. This one's sneaky. Florida has a law, statute 320.061, that says you cannot obscure any part of the license plate, including the state name or the county name. A lot of cars have dealer frames. You know, the frames that say the name of the dealership where you bought the car? Those frames are usually fine, but here's the trap. If the frame covers even a millimeter of the word Florida or Sunshine State or the county name at the top of the plate, a cop can pull you over. And cops in Florida are starting to enforce this aggressively because it was an easy probable cause for a traffic stop. Let me give you a scenario. You bought a car from a dealership in Florida. They put their frame on the plate. The frame is thick. It covers the bottom edge of the word Florida. You don't even notice. You're driving one day. A cop pulls you over. You ask why? The cop says your plate frame is obscuring the state name. Probable cause for a stop. Now the cop is asking you other questions, fishing for bigger violations. Here's what you need to do right now. Go outside. Look at your license plate. If you have a frame, check if it's touching any of the text on the plate. If it is, take the frame off. It's not worth the risk. These frames are being used as pretexts for stops. And once you're stopped, anything can happen. Now let me give you the action steps for all 5 of these laws. For the left lane law in Connecticut and Florida, change your driving habits now. Only use the left lane to pass. Once you pass, move back to the right. Don't cruise in the left lane even if you're going fast. It's not worth the ticket and the insurance hike. For California's expanded move over law, always move over or slow down when you see any car on the shoulder with hazard lights on. Don't assume it's just for emergency vehicles. Treat every hazard light like a cop car. For the license plate cover ban in California, remove any covers or tints from your plate right now. Check for sprays or coatings too. If your plate isn't 100% clear and readable, you're at risk. For the right turn on red bands, if you're driving in a major city, assume you cannot turn right on red unless you see a sign allowing it. The default is shifting to banned. And for the Florida plate frame issue, take off any frames that touch the text on your plate. Just remove the frame entirely. It's safer. Look, I spend hours every week researching new driving laws and enforcement changes, so you don't get caught off guard. The least you can do is hit that subscribe button to support this channel and make sure you never miss an update that could save you hundreds of dollars in fines. Subscribe right now. And if you found this helpful, share it with every driver you know, because these laws are catching thousands of people who have no idea the rules changed. Remember, this is educational information, not legal advice. Always consult with a traffic attorney if you get a ticket and want to fight it. Stay safe out there and drive smart.